why did you decide to pursue music?
My sister was a really inspirational part of my growing up. She's 2 years older than me, and she unerringly found the most influential people of our era. Back then it was Bob Dylan and the Beatles and everything. And because she was such a inspirational, oldest kid in the family kind of figure, she took up playing the ukulele. I was 7. I stole her ukulele, and I never looked back.
Oh.
And that started me, literally when I was 7, I started playing, and I never once questioned that I was going to be the very best guitar player in the world. Now, I'm not at all.
But who is?
But that's not the important thing. The important thing is I'm pursuing a lifelong passion for the arts that is also something that trains your brain, it structures your brain, it enlivens, it informs, it creates community with it. I play in 5 bands. I played out a couple nights ago for a sold out crowd up in Appleton. I'm in love with music. At 73, I'm still in love. My wife, I met her, she's a musician. My daughter, she's a musician. And these are gifts that are given to us that we then can share with others. And music is it's a universal language. It might be older than religion. It might be the thing that starts religion to form because it's community. And by the way, religion, the original meaning of the word religion, religare, is to bind. But I think that music is before that, and music binds religion.
I completely agree. I also really love music, and one of my dreams has always been to have like a music group where we do like mashups of songs. Mm-hmm. But I haven't found a teenager that wants to do it with me.
You will find them, and it will be in an unexpected way, because right now with the cell phones and everything we have, connections are found in unexpected ways, not just physical connections, but I mean, right now my daughter, who's out, so my daughter's professional name is Ray Cassidy. Have you heard any of her music?
No.
Wow. She's amazing. She's amazing. She toured when she was 13. She got pulled up by an international group called Copeland because she had 4 or 5 original songs on MySpace, and they fell in love with her voice. She was 13. I had to actually go with her when she was recording on their first album because she was 13. But she grew up under a very musical family and became musical at a very young age. And that what she put up on MySpace, nowadays it's, MySpace, nobody even knows it exists anymore. But what you have right now with YouTube and all the other millions of musical entities, Spotify and everything else that are out there, is each one is a pathway to talk to more musicians. And each one will allow you the opportunity to show your music and then connect with others with their music. You'll have a million pathways to music.
That's really great. That makes me very optimistic.
I'm a born optimist. Uh-huh. Optimism causes things to happen that pessimism doesn't. Be an optimist. Be a skeptical optimist.
Oh.
Plan for something that's less than great, but hope for great.
That's a good lesson.
That's a good lesson.
That's a good lesson.
Yeah, right.
But music is a pretty hard career to go into, right?
Impossible. Which is the reason. So I went into music, and I took a hard run. And if you will go up to YouTube right now and you Google Jason Klagstad, you're going to find hundreds of videos that span all the way back to like probably 1970 through now of all the different musical endeavors that I've done. I made very little money. And until I met my present wife, that was okay. Not very much money is okay. You can pursue your arts. Great. As soon as you start having kids, however, that's when you have to go and find yourself a career. And I got lucky. I started a music store. I ran music stores until my wife said, hey, 100 hours a week might not be enough for 3 kids. So I got into marketing, and I had no college in me. And I found a guy that was willing to trust the fact that I had business sense and I could communicate with people. And I wound up starting in 95, working at GMR Marketing, which became the biggest event marketing company in the United States, and rising all the way up to vice president of production side of 15 years, just by using basic people skills and being an anticipation, understanding what's about to happen.
Yeah, I think my ultimate goal in life is I want to, inspire someone. I want to make an impact.
Well, this video series here that shows your intent. Your intent is to inspire other people with these, while capturing stories that speak of a different era, to inspire those in this.
Yeah. And plus, these days our teachers always stressed us in school the importance of networking with people and getting your name out there. So would you also say that's a pretty important thing we need to do in life?
I think it's very important. I have a massive friends list. So I always make sure to connect with people, keep their contact information, and then store it. So over the course of 30 years, I have, my contact list is about 30,000 people. And I don't want to be a politician, but I think that's a lot of politicians do that too. I just want to have a really good, so over the last couple of years, I became the president of the Wisconsin area music industry. And I did it by simply walking into the board and talking my way onto the board. And the fact is, they all knew who I was because I stay in touch with the entire music community. And that's how it was. It was literally maybe an hour-long conversation. They went, oh, okay, you can do this. But I had never done it. I'd never talked to them before, but everybody knew who I was because my reputation is so good in the music community. Everybody knows who I am.
Yeah. That's what my parents tell me too. My parents tell me like it's half your intelligence, but it's mostly like your drive, your like initiative, and how much you want it, how much you talk to people. So
yes, and speak confidently, and always do what you're doing right now is you're smiling. It's a half smile. It's very approachable, and people respond to that.
Yeah. So going back to music, how did you first start off in your career and how did you grow from there?
So I started playing ukulele when I stole my sister's ukulele. And there was a whole lot of years where my parents couldn't afford a guitar, so I had to struggle. But then one Christmas, my father hid a guitar behind the Christmas tree. It was the very last present. And I'll never forget that because all the other presents were completely open and I thought I wasn't going to get one, and he reached behind the tree. But that moment probably changed my life. If you think of the movie Christmas Story, I'm right there. And I spent probably most of my teenage years not playing sports, but woodshedding on playing guitar. And I was determined to be the world's very best guitar player and hang everybody else for saying you can't do that. I spent a lot of my social years learning how to play guitar. I didn't make any money. I didn't play with very many people. I just played and played and played and played. It was what they say 10,000 hours are required to become an expert on something. Those are my 10,000 hours. And they were well spent. And I can tell you to this day, all the albums that I trained on, I still have them in my basement. They're all there. And if I ever want to go back and recapture those moments, those albums are right there. I can do that at any point. And then the people skill thing. That's right in late high school. Now, I didn't date any girls in high school. I was just really involved in the music community. It was antisocial at that point. But I wound up lucking out. I grew up with the bass player from Tom Petty, who's no longer with us, Howie Epstein, and we would do bar mitzvahs along Lake Drive together when he was probably 16 years old and I was 17 or 18. And then we just started playing. And the way musicians work is they work in circles of friends. So one guy finds another guy in high school. That guy has a friend. This guy has a friend. Somebody learns how to play one of the instruments that's missing. And all of a sudden, other people have other friends. And you just, over the course of years, it's this informal floating card game almost, where friends join, friends leave, and other friends join, until you get the very best of the best with the group of you that you want to play with, which is what happened. A lot of this is just luck. It's finding quality people by luck. A lot of bands too, a lot of musicians, they lose by attrition or life, or bands don't last very long. All bands come to an end. But bands that are formed of deep friendships. So I play with a guy named Bill Camplin. Bill Camplin is Wisconsin's most notable folk singer. He owns a live music club in Fort Atkinson. I played with him since 1974. 50 years, 51 years. Another guy, Ken Anderson, I played with him since 1974, 51 years. Those deep friendships with music added on as a layer, there's nothing deeper. That communication level and friendship level, when he was around for when his kids were born. He was around for when my kids were born. Our families are still this tight. Our birthdays are 20 days apart. We're deeper than family. I've been married for 37, 38 years. I've known him for 50. Those relationships are deep and wonderful.
Yeah.
Those are great things. And they're not just friends. They're friends with music. And it's just this wonderful thing.
That's exactly what I want in life. I want good people, good food, and good music. That makes a perfect life.
See, you set it up. Hold to that. Use that as a North Star and always measure, hey, am I close to my North Star today? No? Okay. What do I have to do to get closer to that North Star?
Yeah. That'll be my guiding factor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in your career, what was the most exciting thing that you did?
Meeting my wife. So, my wife's name is Linda Christine Klagstad. Used to be Linda Christine Gordon. She's from Waukesha. She's of Asian German extraction. And I was running a music store called Ralph Hansel's on 102nd and Greenfield Avenue in West Dallas. And just happened to be deciding to go out and see a country band in the area, and didn't know what the other named Skip and Gale show. And I walked into the club, I think it was called the Schlinger Tap, and there was this vision on stage, the country band. I will never forget that moment. I'll never forget her. And about a week later, she walked into my music store. And I sold her a set of steel guitar strings, and as she walked out, I can tell you the color of the sky, I can tell you what she wore, I can tell you the temperature and the general humidity too, because that moment changed everything for me. I asked her to date me twice, and then I asked her to marry me. And yeah, we're still married.
It's like a movie.
It's exactly like my life has periods where it reads just like a movie.
That means the movies are made well.
But what it's made me though is it's made me really optimistic. No matter what happens to me, it's always going to be good.
Yeah, that's a good view to have.
Mm-hmm.